Hey everybody, I think I'm live. I hate the way it does this. There's always a delay. I've come in today to do my Q&A. I'm being a bit ad hoc, aren't I? I said I was going to come in every week, and the vote was weekends. And so I've come in now because I've just done a taster session. Actually, nobody's put any questions on the thread today or this week, which is totally fine. But I thought I'd come in anyway and just show up in case anyone joins in and has one. But also, just because I think it's useful, I had a question in my session just now, which I thought was useful and kind of relevant to some of the things that have come up recently around a birth pool. And the question was, what was my opinion about pools for being in during labour, water birth? And so I thought might be just useful to just come in here and reflect on that in case any of you are considering having a pool. I think that having a water birth is really amazing. I'm absolutely an advocate of it. There are some things to bear in mind with a pool, which I think is useful to reflect here. So firstly, when you have a pool, it is usually the case that you would not be recommended to get in the pool too early in your labour, because sometimes it can slow things down a little bit. So what we would be looking for is only getting in the pool once you were in established labour. So when your contractions were probably quite close together, they're the full length of about 90 seconds, and they're happening within every couple of minutes quite consistently. So only at that point would you probably go in. And if you were in a hospital or had a midwife with you, you would find that they would probably want to do a vaginal examination to see how dilated you were, and they would probably not let you in if you were less than sort of 4 or 5 centimetres of dilation, to make sure that your labour is really well established, so getting in the pool didn't slow that back down again. But nevertheless, once you get in, many people find it really amazing. That it really makes you feel private, because not many people can come in with you, although most of the time your birth partner is allowed in, but you will be expected to be wearing a swimming costume. The partner, that is, the mums can get in however they like. And there's 2 things to bear in mind. One is that you may find that you're instinctively in an upright position, but sometimes you feel like you want to kind of lie back. And usually that's fine, because you will have a certain amount of buoyancy, and so that will hold you a little bit off the bottom, and that will enable your pelvis to be free to move. So that's kind of what we want to have. But also we do find that water can have a small impact on gravity. Because the body of water in a birthing pool is quite large, like much bigger than a bath, so a bath wouldn't really have any effect, but in a pool the volume of water is much larger, so it can have an impact. So if you got in the pool and you found that it didn't feel like you were progressing, and it seemed that you were staying a long time in a particular point of labour, you weren't going to the pushing to feel the urge to push or whatever, or if that stage was lasting a long time, you might find that it would be useful to actually get out of the pool for a little bit and let gravity kind of do its thing, get a bit of different kind of movement going on. And you can always get back in to birth your baby, but sometimes if things are kind of not progressing, it's an idea to kind of come back out and then get back in again. Also, it's worth bearing in mind that the water in a pool is amazing for kind of pain relief and helping to make the body feel more relaxed and help you cope with the sensations of labour. But it can, after about an hour or two, after about 2 hours of being in the pool, it can sometimes stop stimulating oxytocin and start to, have a slightly detrimental effect, which again can slow things down. So that's another reason why, if things seem to be slowing, stagnating in your labour, it's quite an idea to come out for a little bit, and then you can always get back in. There was one more thing I was going to mention. Yes, if you are having an induction, then you will probably be required to have a band around your waist with a monitor. There are such things as waterproof monitors, but to be perfectly honest, they're not very widely used, and the chances are that if you are having an induction of labour, you will not have a water birth as one of your options. So it's worth bearing in mind if you're really want to have a water birth and you're thinking about having an induction, that is going to be one of the implications of an induction, is that you won't be then able to get into the pool. So hopefully that just gives you a little bit of insight into water births. I did have a pool in my first labour. I blew it up. I was planning a home birth. I blew it up. It was in the dining room, and I looked at it for 3 days, and they said, no, you can't get in, you're not dilated enough. Finally, they're like, yeah, I'm dilated. I was like, right, let's get in the pool. And I got in and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I felt, do you know what? When I did my antenatal training, I learned about how women like to feel grounded in labour, and I realised retrospectively that I didn't feel grounded, and I was kind of floating, and it was actually really intolerable for me. And I suspect that my baby wasn't in a good position either, which I don't think helped. And actually, I got out after an hour or two, and I didn't like it at all. And in my second birth, I was like, yeah, I went to hospital, and I was like, yeah, I want a water birth, definitely. And they were like, okay, well, we'll see how things progress. And my labour was like that. And so there was no time to even consider having a pool, because by the time I thought, oh yeah, I'm beginning to feel like I need a bit of help, I started on the gas and air, and then I was pushing. So actually my labour was so quick, it didn't even come into the consideration of what I wanted. So, don't get fixated on these things, but it's really, really great to research it, look into it, see if it's available where you are. If you're going to a midwife-led unit, usually the pools are widely available, but actually a lot of normal, high-risk, normal labour wards in hospital have them available as well. Ask the question when you get in, make it known that you'd like to have it if there's one available, and and let me know if you do and how you get on. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I've been on for 7 minutes. It's now, this video is now here for you to watch and reflect if that's interesting to you. And I'll be doing another Q&A next weekend, and I'll put a thread in the group this week. If you have any questions about pregnancy or labour and birth or anything at all, please feel free to drop them in the thread, and I'll come back and answer them next week. Hope you have a brilliant weekend, everyone. It's raining here. You can probably hear the rain on my conservatory roof, so I'm off to have a duvet day now. So take it easy. Have a lovely one. Bye.